Here.
Jenny? Here. Jamie?
Here.
And Mike might be hopping on virtually, but we don't see him quite yet. Okay, oath of office.
We're just handing them out, so wait for a while.
Okay, are you looking for a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved and approved. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, dated Monday, March 17th. First by Jenny, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Approval of monthly bills.
He loves keys.
The USA Blue Book.
Yeah, yeah, they're, well, that's where he gets all his well, like, water, well parts, testing strips, things like that, or something.
And then what is Brightsville?
That's, it's the phone for the well house.
Even though they have, you know, charter too,
That's for the well house.
so you have Brightsville and charter.
Yeah, because the well house operates on an alarm,
Yeah, the old coal line.
on the old coal line, we can't do
Like
anything else with that.
New wastewater system.
For the Brightsville.
Yeah, I'd like to eliminate that. For sure, we've talked about it in the past, I don't know.
The one that's got the line underground up to the,
I don't know if there's a way, or, I don't know enough about
I'm
it.
sure there's a modern system, I've never really looked into it, but.
About what? Or here. Yeah. There you go, I did. There you go, now you should be in. No.
Okay.
Perfect, okay. We are to approval of monthly bills of where we're currently at. So, any other questions?
I do have there is a check on there, for one of my election inspectors that he never got in the mail, so I'm gonna issue a second one, because that when he gets the first one, he'll return it. It's just cheaper than trying to issue a stop payment for $30 and.
sometimes you end up in the wrong mail slot. Eventually you
It's
show
been
up.
over a month, so.
Wow.
I have a mail slot, that guy doesn't check his mail once a year, so.
Several of them.
Easy.
Okay, everybody, you're okay with the bills, just let me know, make a motion.
I'll make a motion to favor.
Is there a second? Okay. And then roll call to pay the bills. Corey?
Approved.
Jenny?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Public comment, does anyone have any public comment?
I would like to address the amount that you charge for chickens, $50 a month, every year. Seems a little excessive compared to some of the other surrounding areas, so I'd like to have a look at it if we could. Baraboo, they charge $25 for a new application, and then $10 every year. Freedom is 25 every year. Reedsburg charges 35 for a new application, and then $10 a year. And we're at $50 a year.
Thank you for doing that research for us.
I guess I just have a question, I guess I thought about this, I didn't know who to ask. It's 30 miles an hour to come in from Baraboo, but now that the houses are gone, when we go out 136 towards Reedsburg, that's still 25. And I think they said that's up to the village if they want to up that speed through there, if there's any reason that couldn't be upped. You know, heading out toward the roundabout.
For the narrows?
I think
You
actually
mean towards the
our,
well?
What's
I
that?
mean towards the well.
Yeah, heading like you're heading toward Reedsburg, that's all 25. It used to be residential in there.
once it gets to the Rockville, it's down to Excelsior. Well, it's county road though. I
I
think
think they
county,
said it was the village, I didn't know who to ask.
I think the county has jurisdiction over that entire strip there.
Yeah.
They take care of the signs.
I'm pretty sure they control that speed limit on the county road. I mean, I can ask, but.
I wouldn't even know who to contact them, I mean, the county. I was just curious, I think, because it's actually faster here where houses are, it's slower where we don't have houses anymore.
I can
No
get a
big
hold
deal.
of the sign guy tomorrow and get back to you.
Just curious.
Any other public comment?
To what Jamie said about that high-speed circuit, that's been there forever. It used to run all the way into North Freedom, and from North Freedom back up to the hill. And I know that we cut it just where it goes from the pump house to the well. I mean, if you guys could bury a wire between the two places, you won't have to pay great speed. It's been here since I come here. The second thing, I just talked to Aaron, about the light, Dave Wings, stated that they were gonna put a light in where the kids are standing for the bus in the morning, and he was gonna put a light on it. And I guess apparently he talked to Aaron, right, Aaron?
Yep.
Yeah.
Project Heat.
I haven't talked to him for a bit, so what I'll do is I'll give him a shout tomorrow and see where they stand with that light for the kids at the school bus. And the third thing is the Christmas decorations. The union does have it. They put 2 coats of paint on it. They do need to be painted, touched up or whatever. This Thursday, we're gonna wire it. Jamie said he'd help me work on the project. I believe after they wire it, we should hang it and turn it on and see what it looks like. Because then we'll have it, it might need to be tweaked but at least we'll have a light up, see what it is, and we should have a cost on it. I've worked with them 3 days now, troubleshooting their stuff. It's quite unique. The sockets are replaceable. Lights, everything is replaceable on it and easy to fix. So if something breaks on it, we can fix it immediately. As far as price, I don't know. I know we went through 2 cans of paint, spray paint to touch it up. So we wire brushed it, painted it, and they started wiring it. So I'm sure they're gonna want a couple pictures of it to see if they can improve it if we go forward. But the wire comes in 1,000-foot rows, they'll custom make it. So I should have it in town probably Thursday afternoon, Friday. So if we can figure a way to get that up and let it go for a couple of days, see what it looks like. And if we could get it done, like I said, $26, I didn't know, but even if we got it done for under 100, that's painted and completely done with lights. A new one now, when you look online, is about $700-800 for a 5-footer steel snowflake. So, there you go. I'll have something this week for you. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Yes, I just have a question. You have on the agenda something about a water meeting? Approve the water representative meeting? Is that in, about our village water or what?
No, it's just the water representative from, Primo.
Primo, okay. Well, I have got the MSDS sheet for the sodium hydroxide solution that's being added to our water. And I had some questions about it, and I know that you're gonna need some time. So I didn't know if I should address some of my issues now or go to mid-state. What is the appropriate?
Yeah, and I know you had mentioned that last time. I think the only way that it's possible to do, if you wanna do it at a board meeting, is to bring MSA in and let them explain it to everybody.
I think it's a DNR representative, Laura knows.
Okay,
you know, she-
yeah, and I didn't know, so I'm just asking, you know, I don't want to.
Well, and there was, MSA was at one time gonna come, we had, but
Right.
then that ended up changing, so they're not coming anymore. For
Okay.
issues or whatever.
So I can just work with Aaron on this and have them come and explain?
Well, it's gonna cost, the village would have to decide, the board would have to decide if they wanna bring him in, it's gonna cost to bring him in, but yes. If that's what the village, you're gonna have to, I guess you'll have to submit the questions to the village board, and then they'll have to decide from there.
Well, I can submit the questions right now.
I mean, whatever you wanna do, Gina.
Well, on the MSDS sheet, it is a colorless liquid more dense than water. Contact may severely irritate the skin, eyes, and mucous membranes, and it's toxic by ingestion. It's corrosive to metals and tissue. But it is also known as lye, as in what they used to make soap with. But they made soap out of lye, so I guess, you know, people wash themselves off with that. And I guess I would like to know, what is the reason that we had to have this added to our water?
It's to raise our pH for water. 7 is neutral, right, like. just
And they want it
under
more acidic.
6, so you want it.
More
yeah,
base?
It is a base, so you wanna raise it. Yeah. The
And
water's
there's nothing-
acidic, so it's trying to counteract it to get it to close to 7.
Okay, and why do we need to do that? Why do we need to raise the
That was
pH?
before my time, but I would imagine you had a problem, and when they tested it, that it came that way.
All
Like
goes
they implemented, I know, and there's different things we can do, don't get me wrong, but like the Dells does it, Kaz does it, there's several other communities
I'm
that
sure-
use it.
okay.
It all goes back to the corrosive pipes.
Right, it's corroding the pipes.
When MSA came here and notified the entire board, this was, what, maybe 2 years ago, when we took out fluoride, and the board brought us MSA in, they voted to put this pump in because the DNR required us to do so. And everybody voted the way we needed to vote to be in compliance with the DNR.
And I'm missing something here, and the compliance with the DMR has what to do with this?
That was one of
That's the
that's
chemical they're requiring
that we
us
have
to put in.
It's a
I
requirement.
see.
I mean, trust me, I.
No, I understand, you don't have the answers, and I need to go to them to
That's
find out exactly, because just because another village or somebody else is doing it, doesn't mean we need
Not,
to do
we
it,
were
and I.
required, the DNR gave us, so many months or a year to comply, and that's where we had to either add another pump to the well house, because we didn't have enough space in there, and that's when we did, yeah, so eliminated the fluoride, and complied with DNR and added that.
Yeah, and they're two totally different things, so I can't understand why one, they're okay with eliminating the fluoride, but they're adding something like this, so I'm gonna go to them and see if I can get some more answers, so, thank you.
You know, we get you the name to our,
That would be great.
of our rep, you know, or the DNR.
Warren's number.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, public comment is closed. Library director's report, Becky.
Okay, for March, for the South Central checkout numbers, we had 553, 174 renewals, 727 for total circulation, and 557 returns. And that is slightly up from February. On our count, we had 209 2 photocopies, 8 printing copies, 20 at the computer, 2 for coaching, 4 for study room, 0 for digitization, and 0 new patrons. For reference questions, we had 10. 1 on virtual private network types, VPN. 1 for reader's advisory on Laura Roberts series. 2 to renew books. 1 computer question. 1 on tree types for windbreaks. A question on a will author Claire Marchant. And 2 on health for detoxing your liver, and losing unwanted weight. And suggestions, we offered Mediterranean diet, green smoothies, chair yoga that you can find on YouTube. And we also have an exercise DVD that can be checked out. Activities to go, 14. 0 to 5 age group 5, ages 6 to 11, 7, ages 12 to 18, 0, 19 and plus 1, and general is 0. For programming tools, for March, 190 in attendance, 23 programs. And we had 85 for the gathering, and two programs outside of that. One was Becky Cassidy skincare and health, and Jean Brew did one on the governor's wives of Wisconsin. Yeah. Craft time, 24, 5 programs. Reading adventure time, it's just kids coming in to read or check out books, 18 for 5 programs. And just to remind you that the school Scan and Scan 2 are coming to check out books. Little story hour. 3 in attendance, we have 4 programs. National Anthem, Shamrocks, Birds, and Crayons. For homeschool group, we had 60 for 4 programs. They also did National Anthem, Shamrocks. They made bird nests, and they have free time. Money's bringing in. We have $50 for coffee, $3.30 for donations, $10.35 for photocopies and print. We had a damaged book fee, $17. Vernon County reciprocity, $11.10. That total was $91.75, and deposit total was $141.10. The digitization for the last month, no one came in. The equipment is still out. We can always ask for it back. We're still ordering and entering new books, so please come in and check it out. We have new DVDs. For staff update, I had posted the job description for the library assistant, post office, full station, and on Facebook. Judy continues to enter books, help patrons, check out holds, and prep programs, ordering books, keeping up to date with emails, posting to Facebook. For SCLS All Directors, they are looking to replace our current Bibliovation website. That's how we check books out, whatnot. Let's see. The SCLS Systems Director, Shannon, said to keep an eye out for federal cuts to libraries. Remember to advocate for your library. We love having, especially people from Rock Springs and the surrounding area. And those new people that come in, I probably overload them with too much information on Rock Springs. I had one gal came in and, oh, and you want coffee and tea? Yep, okay, bye-bye. Oh, well, always glad to have people come in. Because that is how we are able to keep going. We did get a new computer and 1 laptop for circulation. This was out of tech money. This was installed last Wednesday by Emily Peterson from SCLS. We still have volunteers Jackie Cruz and Ava Jablonski coming in. Jackie usually comes in on Monday or Wednesday. Ava, who is a high school senior, usually comes in on Tuesdays. We asked Aaron to spray for the ants, the kitchen door threshold, and took care of them pretty well, but I do have little tarot cards with the gel, and I place them in certain areas. This would probably be an ongoing problem because the ants love us, and they love any little bit of food that's out. Okay, we have not had any printing capabilities since April 17th. There is a disconnect, and Anna from SCLS worked on that for a couple hours today. So they are getting back to me on what the issue is. And I did have one job interview for the assistant today. It looks very promising. That concludes my report.
Anybody have any questions for Becky?
So did you say you're replacing the village library website, or the South Central Library System is replacing their website?
They're gonna replace not the website, but the system that we use to check out books. It's in their system. There's been a lot of glitches since they put in what's called biblioration. So like, we'll check books in, and then patrons will come and say, my books are still on my list. And we have to go and pull the books off of our shelves and recheck them in again. And we, like, that should take care of it, but we've also had it where we've had to do it again, and we've had, like, they do different fixes, updates. So there's just been various issues with that, this type. Anybody else?
Public Works Patrolman's report, Aaron.
Aaron Markberg, did the water, wastewater reports, big tickets, did some curb stop locating. Tim had started a book, so the goal is this summer to finish this book as far as, I know where all your wastewater, or your water locates are, or your curb stops are. Just get a map of them in a book, and so we have all that information, and middle of the night something happens, you're gonna hate it that it takes me 4 hours to find a curb stop. DNR permit testing, dumped the salt, dropped the plow on the plow truck. Put a new water meter in the whole subdivision. The 88 curb project, they're about wrapped up. Changed oil in the pickup, changed the furnace filters, read the water meters, sold the old village pickup, burned the grass around the lagoon and the burn pile. Well, ran the well backup motor, greased the well pump, wastewater pumps, hydrant valve maintenance book. Took the old records, stored them, and kind of started over for a new, hopefully long time. Washed the pickup, prepped the board for summer, killed the ants in the kitchen. We had to do a wastewater wet test, and I'll come back to that. Did some wastewater classes for furthering my education for a permit. Rebuilt the chlorine pump. The lagoon fence is gonna start being rebuilt on Wednesday by the Amish. And we're gonna receive a DNR permit violation because they cut our wastewater TSS limits, so that's the total suspended solids limits, so it's leaving the pond, they cut it in half. So in our new permit this year, they dropped all our standards because we added ferric. The ferric was for the phosphate levels, but it's been known, this is all explained to me, but known to drop out larger particles, and it's not doing that. So everything we have, we don't have to purchase anymore. It's just, we're gonna trade half the ferric tank for the polymer to go with it to drop it out, and that's what the wet test was. So I take a, North Freedom got the same permit, so they're gonna have to do the same as long as, and, Laval. So anybody that kind of did this, they kind of pulled the wool over our eyes a little bit. I was not happy with the additional testing, so we caught that right away, but we didn't catch that. So when we started doing our wastewater samples and what we report to the DNR, we were way over, which we never were in our previous permits, but since they dropped the bottom out of it, now it went from 60 to 30, so we just have to add this polymer to drop it into the pond, and so it's not going to the river.
So it'll be more chemical, and then testing
Yeah, I have-
like another $450 a month roughly.
So Hawkins is our chemical provider, and, what we're gonna add into it is this AquaHawk 217. It's $6.72 a gallon, and the ferric chloride we put in is $5.99. So half of the 300-gallon tank will be AquaHawk, the other half will be ferric chloride. So we're gonna assume a little extra cost to get into our standards, but I don't
The
think it'll
testing
be.
is where it hits us.
Right. We went from testing once a week to now we have to test twice a week, 4 times a month, an extra back T sample from the water side. So it's definitely 2 trips to Baraboo every week, so. But, and you know, whatever we get charged per test, I guess I don't see that, but
It'll double,
double.
it's double. If it was running like 450, it's gonna be around 900 a month.
How long is this going?
it's,
That's doing forever.
yeah,
Until
it's
they
a
seal
2
it again.
2 or 3 year permit. That's what the issue is.
Which brings up, we did a full rate increase, like, I wanna say it's almost 3.5 years ago already. I have to go back and look at the date. And I went to do another, like a simplified rate increase, and it won't let me, we don't qualify, so for 2026, it's something we're gonna have to discuss, or the board's gonna have to decide, and we're gonna have to pay again for our auditors to do a full rate increase. So, because we can't continue to go for several years to not give some kind of increase or do something with the water rates when we're incurring what we're incurring. So, just something, again, to think about.
Anything else there? Any good news?
No.
It's all good news, right? I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, trust me, I fight for you guys. I go to these meetings and I get irritated and they kind of don't like me, but for asking me to be quiet, I just, I don't like to see it, so.
They make decisions without.
Right, they
Anybody
bend
else?
over the barrel and you gotta comply, which I don't like that. In theory, I guess.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, Aaron. Water bills over 200.
6. Yeah.
Discuss, update, approve beer Becker contract project for new downtown. Tyler.
I'm Tyler Gross, Beer Director Associates. This is a project based off of your congressional directed spending that you got from the government, which was $600,000. Basically, this is a proposal for us to design it and to construct it. So there's 5 projects that fit within the budget, including Broadway Street expansion for parking on the street enhancements, decorative lights, site preparation of the north sites for building sites, sidewalk improvements on the south side of the road, and then new sidewalk from Railroad Street to this building here. And there's 2 alternate projects too, if the budget allows. Maybe at the south parking lot, against the railroad, between the railroad and the restaurant. Right now, we're looking at the schedule of surveying sooner than later, and then design during the summer this year, get final plans by the fall, bid out for construction in 2026. And it's for $81,920 for the whole floor.
So my question would be, is that $81,000 coming out of the $600,000 grant?
Correct.
And there's still enough funding to complete what we need to complete. Does that account for everything with?
That counts for everything, all the way through construction. But that was taken into account with those OPCs that we
sidewalk on Railroad Street. And there's, as far as I'm aware, no more space to put a sidewalk.
There's enough right away on, it'd be the railroad side. And then raise it up a little bit so it's not flush with the, kind of the sidewalk out here that's raised up a couple inches off the asphalt. To make it curb heads, just be a little more safe.
What about the culvert spot?
We have money for there to do adjustments to go over that.
I think the bigger question is what if we really can't get our hands on the land? That, I think, is the biggest obstacle we have in the whole project.
We've got a sidewalk. No.
No,
North
just,
zone.
The north side?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, in general, yeah.
Okay.
Cause they haven't, we haven't come to an agreement yet with them.
Have we really talked to them? We haven't even had a meeting with them, have
We
we?
haven't had the next meeting yet.
Yeah, the initial meeting, a little stuff in it, so, you get those going again, they've seen open to it. Really excited.
Yeah.
I believe it was Corey asked a question about the $21,000. Does that come out of the $600,000 grant? I didn't hear the answer on that.
It was 81,920, and yes, it would come out of the grant amount.
Okay. So that would make available funds or whatever to do the project that much less, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
How long is this bid proposal good for?
I mean, if you wanna wait a month or two, would be fine. It'd just be getting the project started, so when the grant funds are here, we use them. I don't know necessarily if there's a time frame, but with everything that's going on, it's a federal HUD project, so who knows what's gonna happen.
Did you say there's a project between the railroad and the restaurant, or
The village owns a lot there, so if there's enough money left over in the budget, you'd be grading out a parking lot for there, or a village parking lot, and then if there's more money allowed, building a parking lot to the south.
Hey, Lisa, thank you for letting me ask a question. Was it last meeting or the meeting before? I thought there was something with the state about driveways, because they weren't happy with the one that's at Excelsior already, and they said they also don't want nothing between the railroad tracks and the new business.
That was a building first.
Yeah, we've had preliminary meetings with the DOT about that.
So it is, but I mean, that last meeting, didn't we say there was an issue with that?
Yes, we had a meeting with Mayor Barker, and yes, we discussed that with the DOT. Their concern is a building in there.
they don't want a building, you're saying?
But I thought that was with the road too, though.
They only wanted one access point in and out, they didn't want two or three, that was the other concern that they had too.
Because of the railroad. I mean, that was how I took it at that meeting. Now we're saying it's changed.
Well, all of this has to be approved through the DOT before we can move forward anyway, so.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
what
do
we're saying
they're
is
gonna
he's
do.
presenting a parking lot. But the meeting before that, the DOT said they wanted no roads going to the railroad tracks because of the railroad.
I said we discussed that, and yes, the DOT had a concern about that. We never said that we haven't even applied for permits onto what was gonna be done yet.
Okay, I took it that
It
way.
is a possibility that they turn down whatever
Design
is
they put through.
submitted.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
But I think you still plan on applying for.
100%, and I mean, I think that, at least in the meeting we had with the DOT, they didn't see that against it, that no, this is a no-go, and I've had those conversations with the DOT before. I think that meeting actually went pretty well.
Okay, but I'm not going with your meeting, with what I heard here.
Yeah, I said that, I reported back that yes, it was a concern. That's what we said.
It's still a concern.
It's still a concern because they they think that's super high traffic, they're.
And that was my, thank you, Lisa.
So you can set up your
We'll have to.
But in the end of the project, we're gonna be combining a couple
I'll talk to Kurt too, I know he was kinda helping us regarding that with the
Yeah, we-
homeowner.
I think the way to do it was we had to combine driveways, cause I think we had it laid out as 3, they didn't want 3, they wanted something less. So that was their concern, and then, like I said, the biggest concern is the landowner right now, is because we haven't come to what takes the terms, I mean, 'cause right now, the village has no money to pay them to get this land, and that's not in this whole grant either. Their way of making money is by being able to sell the land for the businesses that are coming in. So that's how they would profit by,
Right now, it'd
Doing
be pretty
the
hard to develop those lots for anything, just because of the topography around there and the right of way is so far back. There's actually yellow posts that mark the DOT right away, so you have to be further back behind that to be flat, and right now the grades wouldn't allow for that.
Does part of this have, like I said, I know the loop over by Mead King, are we trying to get more parking over there, get people off the road, or is that not,
Yeah, that's part of it.
that's part of the thing, okay?
And
You
then
know, the
part
parking
of
lot's a lot, you can build a retaining wall between the restaurant and the parking lot?
I would have to, I mean, I've been using, I think it's 2017 LiDAR information online, so, I mean, we'd have to see really, exact elevation. I think right now there is a steeper slope in there, so it'll be like 4-to-1, but it's not anymore. I mean, 4-to-1 is mobile, is what people say. Once you get beyond 4-to-1, it starts getting a little more questionable and retaining wall.
This will all get figured out later though.
right, this is the
Yeah.
initial step, but I think
Right.
even before we get to this initial step, we need to have one more meeting with the landowner first, just to make sure that they're still on board, and give us some type of commitment, otherwise, we're spending money that we don't have, and potentially have to owe back because we can't do the project, so. I think that's where we sort of sit, so. So I think we can't sign this tonight,
No, that's fine.
so I apologize. But, we have to have another meeting, so we'll have to have you involved, your group involved to get that set up with the landowner.
Yeah, I'll talk to Kurt about that, get that scheduled. Okay,
Thank you.
see you next month.
Yep, sounds good. Do you want a formal motion to table it, or?
Sure.
Make a motion to table, I'll let you in.
Your second?
I'll second.
Okay, sounds good. All in favor? Okay, approved. Discuss update approved water representative meeting date.
So I know she threw out some dates this week, Lisa, I didn't hear back from everybody, so we didn't go with this week. The other options were May 27th, she'd be in town May 27th through the 30th, and June 23rd through the 26th, so. I just kinda wanted you guys to know about the dates, you don't have to pick a date tonight by any means. It would be nice, it's gonna be a closed session meeting, she would like to meet with the board, introduce herself, and talk about whatever. I'm sorry, June 23rd to 26th. So she just asked for a board meeting, board representatives didn't want. It's for the primos, they just want to introduce themselves and talk about how we can all work together and possibly, just ideas of how to better have communication with the water issues and.
Keep the free
Yeah.
water flowing. Keep people happy.
So, I
Don't
mean,
drive it.
Yeah, just don't drive in the grass, yes, keep the maintenance man happy.
you don't have to make a decision tonight, but it would be nice to get something, because I know,
So it sounded like, as we get into summer, I'm pretty sure Wednesday nights don't work and Thursday nights don't work, I think. For people's schedules, I believe.
I can never do Thursdays.
Yep, so no
Thursdays
Thursdays,
are
you
out.
shoot track at Wednesdays.
I'm open.
Oh, you're open, okay, no track, okay.
so it would be May 27th, Tuesday,
You
Wednesday.
shoot
or
Fridays
Thursday.
now, okay.
Or tomorrow, the Monday, like she just said, it would be June 23rd.
Oh, it's the 23rd.
But it's the Monday after,
No, the 23rd would actually walk anything after 6, okay? And she's, obviously stays in town, so she, I don't know where she stays, probably buried in,
Talk about her.
yeah, Primos, or Ice, whoever runs the water plant now, the lady that was in here.
Oh.
Seven.
So June 23rd tentatively. Monday. Okay. Discuss update approved portable storage unit use, 210 Will Street.
So we have a new home going on 210 Will Street, and they asked if they could park a portable, you know, the drop-off trailers. Is that what it is, Jeff? Do you know? Is that work?
It's so that house is my uncle, and he actually sold his house in Chicago, and he was able to sell it. So he just needs someplace where he can store a lot of his stuff to bring out and get out there.
Oh, so
I
it's
think
like
he's
a
gonna-
pod that
yeah.
you-
Yeah.
Okay.
He was gonna put it on the other lot next to him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it actually, I think it'd be off the street, right? Off
Yeah, I
the
don't think it's
street.
gonna be on the street, no.
I just kinda wanted to put something in here, I know just Reedsburg's had issues in the past with pods sitting and never being moved.
Yeah,
I think they actually had to put in
That's what time you
ordinances, yeah. So I just said, I mentioned to him that if we would, I just put it in front of the board, give him like a 2-month time frame, and then we have something that we're setting a precedent for. So we're not having them all over town and
Yeah,
whatever.
he just has no keeping it there. He
Yeah.
just- His home is so quicker than he thought, so.
Is that going with it?
I guarantee my aunt
So,
might be able to
I
do
just
that.
wanted-
When is his house getting finished roughly?
August. Yeah, it's in sort of in August.
And he thought, he didn't know if it'd be right away, maybe, I thought he said around May, maybe May is gonna put.
Yeah, he's trying to get everything in order.
So is it reasonable to say that the pod would have to be gone within 30 days after completion of the house that's moved in? Or
Yeah, that'll probably.
maybe 60 days, 2 months? I mean, I don't think you'd wanna go too much longer.
They're worried about the weather and stuff, that'd be too late. Just freeze down.
Something reasonable?
45 days from completion of the house?
Yeah. Cause I mean, you
Yeah,
can't move some stuff in until it's all laid done.
sure.
I guess that's where my thoughts would be, I don't know if anybody else.
That makes logical sense.
Cause he'll be putting a lot of the stuff in the garage too. So-
And obviously, he's gonna wanna get rid of it if he has to pay for it, so get rid of that expense. But again, like you said, you need to have something, so if this comes in the future, we can say this is what we did previously, so.
What are the thoughts right now, 45 days?
Of completion of the house.
Of completion of the house, I think, is where we're sort of at, maybe? Right in the middle, that seems reasonable.
I think, yeah.
I'll make that motion.
60 days would be reasonable, because within 45 days, you should have your things moved into your home.
Make a motion to be 60 days after the completion of the house to get the pot out of there.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, sounds good, and then all in favor? Approved. Yeah, that sounds fair. Got a little extra time then. Discuss approve May date for brush metal.
So we came up, or Aaron came up with May 10th from 9 to noon.
That works best for me, but I mean, it's open, I just don't have my kids that weekend.
That is Mother's Day weekend though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a Sunday? Was that a Sunday we picked? We picked Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saturday.
No, Saturday.
Do we have time to get it in the newsletter?
Yeah, it'll go, the newsletter, it'll go out May 1st, I can't guarantee it'll be in our mailbox by that time.
And the dead, I won't read it. That's true.
I won't read it either. Right, I have 2 people that are on my list that I will contact, otherwise I'll put it on the website and in the Waterville, or, yeah. Waterville, municipal people read it. But May 10th is a Saturday, I don't think that's,
Yeah, dumpster or something set somewhere, put stuff in, or what are you doing?
yeah.
Push
his kids that weekend.
I mean, I
The
can
following
make it happen,
weekend, and the
if
following
that's the
weekend after
case.
that is Memorial Day weekend,
Yeah, that's definitely not good either.
unless you wanna push it to June.
Happy Mother's Day, I'm getting your junk out of our yard for you.
I mean, June we could do too.
Not like you're gonna look at Father's Day. 21st or whatever. But yeah, it ultimately comes down when Aaron can be available. But just some thoughts.
Yeah, that's still
I mean,
over 20 days.
I'll get it on the website tomorrow and we can get it in the newsletter, but. I mean, we have to advertise it that, for people to be on the list, so they've been well aware that we're gonna do brush and cleanup, and I've had literally 2 people
We
sign up
can
for
lengthen
it,
it
so.
too, it could be 9 to whatever.
Noon's good.
Aaron, if you need some help that day, let me know, I can try to make myself available to give you a hand.
Alright,
Are we gonna spell out what kind of metal?
May 10th?
we're using?
9 to noon.
Yeah, I think I have
Okay.
on the website.
and maybe when you put 9 in it, I mean, if they call me, if he's out there.
Well, and everybody that I've talked to, if they have a time that is a different time and you have time to do it, then I'll do
Right.
that. But I'm not gonna do that if, it has to be on your time frame and
Right.
what's available for you, I don't want people calling saying, yeah, you're off at 6 o'clock.
Right.
We're not doing that.
Well, we just don't want the couch or the bed or the,
Mattresses.
yeah, just whatever you feel like dumping out there is not optimal.
Yeah, look at lots of junk.
Well, I'm gonna put a list for the metal, what's we can do.
Well, the whole goal is to work towards like a, whatever cleanup, we can grab the bucket for the tractor and we can go, we can move to the curb, but we're not there yet.
Hey, Jenny?
Yeah.
When you put that out on the internet and possibly in the newsletter or whatever, maybe have people touch base with Aaron somehow, and just kinda, give him a heads up that they plan on doing this, so if he has an idea how many people are actually gonna use this, to where if he knows that there's gonna be 30 people that are gonna try to come between 9 and noon, he might get some help.
I'm gonna have it, so they have to sign up. I still think, because it's just easier that way, otherwise he's gonna be bombarded.
Right.
If there's lots of information, there might not be. I think the only way to do it is to sign up. So he has contact information.
Yeah, that way you can control it. That makes sense. So May 9th, or May 10th, sorry, 9 to noon. Do I have a second? All in favor? Discuss, update, approve road bids to be published.
So I sent the road bids out to everybody. I guess the only thing, Mike, that would need to be changed is on Second Street, that second portion would be 20 feet.
Okay,
We had 25 on there, I'll change it to 20 though.
okay, yeah, I wasn't.
I mean, it was 18, but I think we'd still put 20 in there and see what they say. When the bids come back, right? Aaron, was 18?
Yeah, that's 18.
Yeah, so they won't be able to go with 20 without doing some major renovations, so,
Do you wanna say 18 then?
yeah, if that's, as long as we have a real good measurement of the road and, like, the grass hasn't overgrown the road by 6 to 12 inches on each side of the road, it needs to be scraped back, and it's actually 19 or 20 feet, that would be my only concern, but if he's pretty confident that it's 18 feet, then I would put 18 feet, because we won't be able to make it 20 feet without doing some major renovation to the road.
I feel 18 on the Second Street, cause it's just access when it floods. It's not detriment, there's not much traffic, and it was 18 feet at Kissing, so.
Okay, I'll do 18
It'd
then.
take for those semis that keep going.
So
No,
up the hill, I measured the lower portion, I'll have to do that tomorrow, get back to you.
The lower portion is the one I'm concerned about. I know the upper portion is 18 feet, but the lower portion is the one that I'm thinking is probably wider because of the street parking.
Okay. I will get it measured first thing in the morning.
Cause the upper half you have is 19 feet wide.
Yeah, I did 19 feet just because, by the time Todd gets done putting his gravel, if they can put a 19 feet, if they can put a 19-foot wide road there, I would prefer 19 feet versus 18 feet.
Okay.
So that's, I want to put more than what the road width was because you'll have spillage of gravel over the sides, and if we can get a 19-foot road there, that's what I prefer, just so there's a passing lane, for vehicles to meet each other on the hill.
Okay, so then you're gonna still measure the
I'll
lower.
measure the lower
Okay,
portion.
and I'll put whatever he puts in.
There's like a blacktop.
We may have to scrape back a little bit, take a flat shovel and scrape back the edges of the road just to find where the edge of the blacktop actually is.
Alright. Yeah,
Alright, and then if everybody's good, I guess I'll
be from the
post
intersection
or
to the
publish
left,
them
down towards that.
here in the next, I'd like to get them in by May 1st, if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to, but then that gives them a month. I mean, I'll email them out to a bunch of roads companies too, because a lot of times they don't even look in the paper anymore, they'll wait for people to send bids, and then it says June 1st, so it's probably best to open them pretty soon after that, I guess. If you guys wanna have a special board date, or if you wanna change that date, Mike.
That's, I guess, I'm okay with whatever the rest of the board wants, but
So when did we say we're gonna do that?
I guess the more time that we have out there for bids, the better, so.
Remember in June, we're gonna have the 16th, whatever meeting, and then we're gonna have, maybe meet with the water on the 23rd.
Oh, June 1st, it says says shall receive bid until June 1st, which is actually a Sunday.
And the next
I
meeting
just,
is
like I
the
said, when I wrote
16th.
those.
Right, just threw a date in there.
Yeah. And I also have another, I have another, email for you, for that Rock Roads on Janesville, so.
Oh, okay. Do you wanna say May 29th? Cause that's a Thursday, or I can do, I guess I can do
That's what I mean.
May 29th.
I think the sooner we get it out there, the more that we can let, or the companies have time to bid on.
So we just, when do you guys wanna meet, so take a look at them?
The only concern I have right now is, like, if one of these companies has an opening sometime this summer, getting Todd to have the gravel portion of it done. I've talked to him a couple times now, and he seems to be confident that he'll get it done, but if we get somebody bidding on the road, it's a certain date, we have to hopefully have the gravel portion of it done. He's working on it, I just talked to him, last Thursday to try to get us the completed bid for the rest of the gravel and grading. That's basically, ripping up the blacktop that's on Second Street right now, breaking it up into small crumbles, and then overlaying that with a new base, basically, and doing a rough grade. And then whatever blacktop company we get will come in and do the fine grade for the road and the paving.
It'd be really nice if, cause he's doing Freedom Road over in Town Freedom. To work with, if we could get some bids out, cause a lot of these companies, they're gonna operate better when they can come in and do multiple roads.
Correct.
So, and the nice thing about having Todd do that one as well as ours is if he can, the same company comes in, maybe he can, coordinate it.
Right.
So that he's hitting, whatever road he needs done, they can lay that road while he focuses on another road. I don't know, I guess I'd have to talk to Todd, but.
So I'll make sure that I get you that, contact for Rock Roads, so that we can send that out to you also for Town Freedom, because it sounds
room when you're gonna have an opening? Or don't you have to have that in those? I thought you did, but.
Well, it just says, will receive sealed bids until,
Oh, well, then you're probably okay.
until May 29th. Doesn't mean that, I mean,
Usually,
technically you should say.
I would say
open bids.
technically you should have when you are gonna open them, yes. That's the
Yeah, I
same.
just tried to write a bill and had release on it.
No, that's fine, thank you. No, we just don't wanna get into a technicality like we did the last time when we had one.
Well, it's a big gamble too, you know, you're paving a new road, not no water and sewer underneath, and I know it costs a lot of money, but we're gambling there.
So you're asking when to open the bidding?
Well, if you wanna advertise it so that, you know, they have until the date of the bid opening. So if you did the advertising like May 29th, you would accept sealed bids, so that time you would open them on May 29th. Or you could do like a June, you could wait and do June 2nd, which is on that Monday.
Would you wanna do it on maybe on a Tuesday, or when you're here? I guess we're typical board, don't we? Yeah, look at that.
I mean, I have a hard time believing we're gonna decide the night the bids are open. I mean, we have to then look financially what we're capable of doing before we're not gonna make a decision that night anyway. When we get the bids, so that's why I like,
So if we did accepted bids until, June 2nd, which would be the first Monday in June, and then our board meeting would be June 16th. So we would make a decision on the 16th, that way it gives us 2 full weeks to look over the bids, try to figure out our finances.
and I could say, cause a lot of times what they're looking for is they wanna know if they're beat or not, you know what I mean?
Right,
They
want to
want
compare
if
a
they
little
didn't-
bit.
Yeah, so like if Aaron and I open them on the 2nd, provide you guys with the information, we can still provide the people bidding it with their information in case they wanna know where they came in at.
That's why I picked the Tuesday office hours,
Yeah.
that's what I was sort of thinking.
Okay, so June 3rd. Right. Would be when I would unseal them, and then Aaron and I would compile them and we can send them out to everybody. And then they can be voted on you said June 16th meeting.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
That way we don't have to have a special meeting. Save a lot of money.
The only thing I mean, don't be surprised if no companies can get to it anymore this summer. I guess it's, you know, cause we're already into June already by the time we would be opening the bids, so we may not even get a company that could do it, because they might have their schedule full all the way through October by then.
Words of, how many days do you have to advertise it? How long?
Last 2, so twice, so. Technically,
Is it possible to push it up by, for our May 19th meeting? That's another option. That would cut out sometime.
probably get it in the 1st, I'd have to advertise it the 1st and the 8th. So it could be open, you could open up by the 19th.
And you have to make time to review them.
I mean, you'll look at them, but you're still gonna probably have to go back to the drawing board before you decide on them, so. Maybe not both of them, maybe one you could award, I don't know. Cause there is so much set aside for one of them, for sure, for Smythe Street, but.
Depends what everybody thinks for construction season, if we want to either give them more time to do the bids, or sure if we wanna take the gamble and get it, the bids through, or the ad through, and get construction on the back end one more time.
I would think, I mean, just my opinion, but I would think, let's get the bids out there sooner rather than later and get the construction time on the back end.
Okay. So we'll go with the first plan in June, due by June 3rd then, and then we'll make a decision on the 16th. Okay, you looking for a motion to that effect?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Discuss update monitoring Second Street once construction is complete. You got yourself a new job.
Go ahead.
My concern is after we, finally get Second Street reconstructed, which we've been dreaming about for years, is the heavy truck traffic that somehow or another makes its way onto that Snaky Hill Road. I don't understand why anybody would run or drive on that with a heavy truck, but, even with the best of base and the best blacktop, and a good thick asphalt pad on it, it can't handle that steep hill with the curves, is not gonna be able to handle the heavy truck traffic, so we have to figure out some way to deter them from staying off that road. And the sign is going to do that. We're gonna spend a pile of money on that road, and every time that a big truck, a heavy truck goes around the curve and leans all the way to the left, it's gonna be trying to push the asphalt off the left side, or when it curves to the right, it's gonna be trying to, curves to the left, it's gonna be trying to push the asphalt off the right side, so it's gonna start to separate whatever we put on there and rent that road. I think we have to come up with some sort of solution, and I don't know what the answer to that is.
Can't you put a
But we
weight
have to
limit?
come up with some sort of solution to try to deter the heavy truck traffic from using that.
What are we defining as a heavy truck, Mike?
When I say heavy truck, I would say anything over a, like, an F-450 size truck, like a 2-ton truck. So a dump truck of any sort, like single axle, and quad axle, semi-truck and trailer.
What about a FedEx or UPS truck?
Will handle, especially during the winter time when our plow truck runs up and down it because the base is firm and the asphalt is extremely cold. So it's not going to want to push and separate like asphalt is going to do when it's very hot. So I think that our plow truck will be fine on it. And I think if we had an occasional single axle truck, it would probably be fine. Or like a moving truck or something like that would probably be fine, but I'm trying to deter the dump trucks from trying to cut across country to save a little bit of time going to the quarry or up and down that hill, or any, like actual semi-truck and trailer, like 48 to 53 foot trailer that weighs upwards of 60 to 80,000 pounds.
Well, they shouldn't have that road either.
Shouldn't be.
So Aaron asked, what about a FedEx or the UPS truck?
I would think that a FedEx or UPS truck would be fine. They're not, they're a single axle, basically a 1-ton or a F-450 chassis, and they're not usually very heavy because they just have packages of, people's goods, so I would think that type of truck would be more than capable for that.
What about a large tractor?
We kind of put up signs so we kind of put up signs, probably post weight limits, but still, how's it gonna get monitored? That still is a concern.
I still think we have to go back to video monitoring like we've discussed in the past. We need to get prices on it, and we just need to go from there.
Yeah, I'm
I would agree with that. We have to, well, first thing is we need to talk to Sauk County, we need to get a hold of like Chip Meister or somebody that's in charge and determine where we stand.
What we can do.
If we do something and we catch somebody, where do we stand? Because if we throw money away from
issue too, is that the GPSs send them up that road. So these big trucks get caught, they don't mean to. That is part of the issue, so I don't know if you can go back, I don't know if there's some way to contact.
You can make edits of Google Maps and stuff.
That would probably help a lot, because a lot of times they don't wanna be there, they get caught there.
I wouldn't wanna be there either if I was them. They'd be like white knuckle all the way. Oh, they're saying that with the GPS sometimes leads them down that road and they don't really want to be there, and then we were just joking about how they're probably white knuckling anyways, down the road to get down there, so. But,
But, I mean, most truck drivers, GPS has a truck route.
yes, they do.
So they won't take them on road past like Second Street. They're gonna take them on main roads like 154 and 136. So, I mean, I guess my opinion is if they get to that point in the road where they see the signs, or we put up a sign at the beginning of the road that says this road is class B and it's monitored with surveillance, then that, okay, well, I better not turn on that road, or a no truck route at the beginning of the road on every intersection, so that people don't even enter that road with a semi, because we can't get through there.
You should probably put it on the Oak Street, right on Oak and 136.
That's what I was just thinking, yeah, if they're gonna put signs that don't even let them get near stuff.
I agree with Jason, we should keep the tractors off, there's a round to go around, keep the trucks off it, besides like a FedEx truck, I mean, there's no reason, I mean, I drive semi on weekends and stuff like that, I would never take a semi up there. But I don't know, and I mean no disrespect in this, but the farmers, they're exempt for everything, seems like.
There's a couple large.
CDL, they can drive wherever, you know, I mean.
I mean, hopefully farmers that are driving a monstrous tractor with a mirror tanker or big huge planter would not take that road because they know they can't hardly get through there and they're gonna end up wrecking their planter or their tractor or something, but, I think we're gonna have.
I've seen a large tractor take up the whole road.
Farmers, just because of the fact that they're basically exempt from any roads and.
I mean, I've never seen a semi or dump truck or tractor on that road, but then again, I'm only here for.
I have,
I have.
several times. Large tractor takes up the whole road.
And now that we've opened it up a little bit, you're invited.
More. Okay, good conversation, we'll figure out a solution, so. But I think, like you said, first we need to figure out what we can do from Sauk County that is down the line, so.
Well, I think you might have to go to state patrol on that, because that's who does, but. That might open a huge can of worms, but, with the co-op and stuff.
There's ways around that, I think.
I don't know if the county talks to you on the restrict.
If the rest of the board would like me to, I can reach out to Sauk County and have a conversation with where we stand. Or what would be the best solution in trying to keep the heavy truck traffic off the road.
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
we'd
and
be
then
happy,
report
thank
back.
you for doing that for us, we appreciate that.
Yep.
Discuss approved curb repair on Holt's 10 Penny Lane.
So I talked to Mark Sobel, the Fools guys, farm help or whatever, he come out with an excavator and he, broke the curb going in. Well, he was coming out, but he broke the curb, which I didn't even think about, but there again, like semis and stuff like that, when that, subdivision was, you know, drawn up or whatever, he did have a valid point, he's way shorter than if you're bringing like a modular home in there. So the curb was just a normal curb. He's gonna stand behind it, we gotta decide what we want. He brought up like if it would function as a curb, or if we needed a curb there, but he called it a drive-over curb. This was Mark Noble from Dole's. To get bigger items in there, but the way the curb is now is like a 4-inch curb, like a normal curb, and it just got totally demolished. Because there's no way, with the swing of the intersection isn't wide enough to swing big stuff in there. And I don't know where like the survey stake is for the road and all that stuff, so I told him I'd get back to him, I guess, but, it's gonna be something we're gonna have to, the standard curve isn't gonna work there. So we gotta.
So he's willing to replace it with this drivable curb?
Yeah, that's what his recommended, you know, it's like shorter in the back and it's like tapered, you know, so when you go over it with basically a semi-trailer, it's
like what they do in the roundabout.
Yeah.
Right, it's slow, they would probably cut the intersection back a little bit, and he said he'd stand behind it, he just, that wasn't designed the right way, and I almost had to agree with him, but, cause I could see you're coming out of there, and I could see how he tore the curb out with his trailer, so.
I'm gonna probably go to at least 6 inch there, then just have 4 inch too for the concrete.
Right,
Yep.
it'll just be like tapered in the back, so you can, I mean, once the subdivision's full, the curb's gonna be there, but it's not really gonna, you know, you're not moving big things around, but it's gonna be destroyed till it's full.
Right,
So we
exactly.
should probably go in the direction of a drivable or whatever curb.
So the process of widening that intersection out, that or pushing that curb back at like a 45 or a bigger radius, will there be any cost to the village, Aaron, do you know?
He said he'd stand behind it. He broke it, I called him right away, got on top of it, and he said he would stand behind it, but he's like, didn't have any nice words to say about who designed it, I guess.
So, the engineers that, designed that roadway for us, is that your record?
I believe it is.
Okay, so the same engineering firm that's asking for $81,000.
Yes, that'd be them.
Thank you.
Does it make sense for him to hold off on the repairs so we get more of the construction done, but how much is gonna get back there? I mean, is it the whole thing needs to be developed, or is it just a few?
Well, it's
I
only
can't
like-
remember when we looked at it.
It comes out of a 10-penny lane, and that's all good, it's just right at the corner where they tried to make the swing, I mean, he was way up by, I mean, he's across the road coming out of the semi, and you can see where the back wheels and they have a dovetail trailer, so
Anybody who builds, you're gonna have the same issue, if
Right.
you try to entrance and
So I mean,
exit.
if we can wait, I wouldn't say 10 years, but you know, you could have it look ugly for 10 years to fill the subdivision and then fix the curb, which.
No, just have them
Do the,
put the drivable curb in right now and they
Yeah.
get fixed.
Well, if you don't stand behind it, and Bearbecker can.
Yeah, maybe sometime that you can get with them, Mike, with Veerbecker, get Veerbecker there to look at their faux pas. And even Zobel wants to come look at it and stuff and decide what to do with it.
maybe he can help split the cost with Zobel.
Yes, I would agree with that. Before we drive over curb, I would wanna look at, well, obviously the engineering firm also, but I would personally wanna look at where the water drainage is there. I mean, we put a curb in there for a reason. Or Veerbeckers put a curb in there for a reason, you know, to try to keep the water on the road and not underneath somebody's yard. But a drive over curb is
there's no curb down along Holt Street at all. So why they put that in there, I'm not, it goes from nothing to the curb, and then it picks up that 6 feet of curb.
I think it was just a basic drainage issue for that road coming in there, is all
Right.
it was.
So, isn't the east side of Old Street kind of the hillside there though?
There is a hillside there, yes.
Okay, so I think that the whole idea was to try to channel the water down the curves instead of running down the middle of the blacktop, or, you know, before it was just grass, so it ran off the west side of the road into grass and slowed the water down. But if the water's coming off there fast during a, you know, a heavy rainstorm, it's gotta go someplace, and instead of running where it used to have 30 foot of grass, now it has either the blacktop run on or the neighbor's yard. Channel. So we just have to make sure that the water running off the hill on the east side of the road is not going to, you know, do any damage to the yard there. On the north side of Fairway Road. I'm not saying that a drive over curb won't work, I'm just saying we definitely need to look at it and make sure that the water is not going to cause erosion issues.
Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna run the idea past Beerbecker and let them know that their design failed, it sounds like.
Yeah, get them on site.
Have them come out and take a peek at it, and then see if that idea will work for them. And then do the drive over.
I make a motion to approve it.
Wait a second,
Second.
all in favor? Approved. Discuss approve UTV uniformity information.
You guys have it, what I sent you, and it's just what came
Basically,
from.
it's just the hours, 'cause we're already below their speed limit that they want. So it's really just adding from,
6 AM to 10.
yeah, 6 to 10.
And I'm not saying you guys have to cater, this is all they have a long way to go with this, because they have to try to get every single township municipality on board with this. And a lot of discussion is there's, you know, like Reedsburg, Baraboo, these bigger cities, they have cops that are enforcing these, we don't have that. Stock County's not gonna come in here and enforce that, so do you really wanna open it up till 10 o'clock? I don't know, you already got people buzzing up Second Street.
We
Fast
have,
on
we have
UTVs.
parades,
Huh?
we have parades.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's why, I'm not saying we even need to cater to them, I think it was kind of just, this is where they wanna get the uniformity, but I don't know that it's, I guess.
Well, I don't
We
know,
have to do it.
what are your what are you guys, what are the times?
Oh, it's just the
you're talking about?
Baraboo ATV club wants to,
Right now, the hours are 7 to 9, they want uniformity of 6 to 10.
6 AM to 10 PM?
The problem that I see with that is, from what I understand, the rules are, 1 hour past sunset at nighttime, I guess I don't know for sure what the daytime is, or the morning time is, but it's 1 hour past sunset. And, you know, if you set a limit at 10 o'clock, what time of the year is it at 10 o'clock? Because 10 o'clock is very late during the winter months, and, you know, so I think that we just kind of don't really cater to them as far as setting up uniformity to it, because of the fact that I think that we don't really have an issue with people in town right now past 10 o'clock or anything like that, past 9 o'clock that I know. So,
we haven't had any complaints, we haven't had any, I mean, that's why I'm hesitant. I mean, I'm kind of free to move to table it indefinitely and not do anything, they're not gonna mess with something that's already good for them. I'm not saying that's what's correct for the village, but I'm just saying it's not. Unless you want more UTVs in here past 10 o'clock, or.
Well, uniform or not uniform, you can't enforce it anyway, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're uniform or not, but who's gonna enforce it here?
That county's not enforcing it.
And I think in Sauk County, I mean, we have enough Sauk County officers that sit in the village, so if they're gonna enforce it, let them enforce it. My suggestion would be to just table it indefinitely.
Second that.
All in favor? So moved. Discuss approved chicken permits.
So I have two, the Bloss family.
Actually, I'm already accepted, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it was 3 years ago when I was here.
We'll formally do them.
Okay.
Trina would buy chickens and she gets hers set up at her house. No roosters.
Anybody wants to view the, anything on it?
I'll give you Joe for the best.
What, the rooster?
Yeah, that's an honor.
So just with that, request if we want to look at fee for the future, there's nothing, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about your fee tonight, so it has to be what it was, so I apologize for that, but definitely it's something we can look at in the future to consider with your concerns, so.
I have a flat fee for chickens and there's a per fee for like dogs, it should be the same thing. So I would say instead of a flat fee of $50 where you have 1 chicken or 5 chickens, it's $6 a chicken.
There's an ordinance written though that how many you can only have 3 chickens, but yeah, you could do that. You could do like $6, they can only have 4 chickens. I think it's 4 chickens.
5.
And why is it 5? That's another question I have. Why 5?
I don't, because when we developed the ordinances, honestly, there were a lot of villages around that had chickens. So we were kind of going off of what other people around us had. I mean,
Reedsburg's at that time.
they didn't have anything.
That's something they were talking about.
Just because she wants more chickens, 5 is fine.
Well, I mean, I'm just kidding.
I don't chicken now.
There is a limit for that for a reason, and it's.
Must have more.
I think they're the beer
Smell and
six.
odor and everything else. I know how stinky chickens are, because I own them myself.
Yeah. Ordinance item.
So, well, we're just doing permits right now, because I can't change anything that's not on the agenda.
Right. Or we can look at it in another date.
We can put it on the agenda for next month to discuss fees.
Make a motion to accept the application.
I'll second.
She just wants to make sure it's location.
Okay, so first, second, all in favor? Okay, applications are approved. Congratulations, you can raise your chickens.
I've had mine for 3 years, so.
Perfect, keep them going. Okay, closed session for Wisconsin State Statute subsection 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. So I'd be looking for a motion for the board to move into closed session.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so I have a first and a
Plug our
second.
ears and just.
Okay, so we will be right back.
Right.
So I would probably say you can get a couple of tons, but I know where it's just point to point. Who do you deal with?
I don't, she pays the bill, and as long as it calls me when there's a problem, that's all I do.
You want me to just check and see if there's something out there?
Yeah, you can. I don't know anything about. It's all dated stuff, I mean, I didn't put it in.
I'm going down to Nate, I'm going down to. Convention for a guy, but I'll see if they got something out there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure some people.
whatever was here when I started, I mean, I haven't. Yeah, I just, Tom Yankee was here for. Well, they don't, we put a, they had help on the way to work, I had put on his. I don't know, wireless or whatever. But you, like, I cut a tree off on Second Street, called them, I said, hey, you wanna take care of this tree? No. No, and I mean, every time we ever call, I've ever called them for like, we, so like, well, we don't do, yeah, USAID, so we have to do what, I'm doing the water and sewer. So I'll get a dig, so you wanna dig in your yard, I get a dig ticket on it. So we pay into, we pay into it, but that's so we get notified. We don't do any USIC, I just do like our water, our sewer.
They notify you when they get the district.
Right.
That's in your events.
No,
You're paying for the service.
yeah. Because it's our investment, our water, our sewer, you know? Then if somebody digs through it.
So I didn't understand that, what you said you gotta pay for this.
Right.
Well,
I
you
think
know,
we
for
did.
Their service.
Yeah. It's like a general, I mean, I think USIC, well, a lot of things USIC, they get notified.
Poison, they don't allow.
Right.
No, we were doing our, I were putting their own chemicals. We paid extra. We're gonna
Right.
So that makes sense. They
A grander?
Charging you.
Is it the name of the system, or are you just saying it's grander?
It's.
I see anything on it, you know.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You know why they were paying, you know what they're paying for the service.
Is that a sign- sign-
It was a dig ticket.
It's not, it's not boiling in, and water has the strongest frequency, so when you put something through that system, it scrambles back. If it were not a municipal thing, but I don't think it
Call Frank, when I ran out there, I just called Frank, and I call.
I got ours since 2007.
I
said, I have to put the call for
They have a town for it now.
which has water in it. So I said, all my groceries on the board. And it has everything in it, that's bad.
Right.
So basically, this was, harmful effects.
It's like a silent.
And then the water, and then the water has such a strong frequency, water overflows.
So you doing, Mr. Jason?
Well, when you say frequency, is it like?
There goes back.
Hmm?
Cindy.
Well, because now feels
It's not Cindy. She's got sister,
Sisters there.
something with sister.
One from, Minnesota.
I don't know which one. tell her that then?
She looks like her mother, that's what she looks like.
No, I mean, I'm not here, but, and we have to be more.
Yeah, that's in good shape.
Sure.
Let me get your porta potty.
Oh, and then I was training on this, so I learned about this in the Bahamas.
No, I'm open to stuff. I just don't know about it. Yes, yeah.
Crazy.
They put the branches on irrigations, and it's like this one, cow.
Yeah.
The sprinklers kept getting packed.
Never get any sort of response to it.
So they put them in the system.
17. Just Lisa.
Right. Right.
Steel toe or soft toe?
Not these. Online.
I bought a pair from Lasting toe, whatever, talk about uncomfortable, your toe curled up. They were displeased.
But he loves keys.
All the best boots.
Yeah, so I mean,
Oh, man.
Anyway.
things once this. So, you know, when
They don't pretty good job with there, huh?
I have the questions you're asking about this company. It's just, we need a better, just because they say you have to put it in, or put it in hard, it's like, why? Yeah, no other substitute, there's nothing, and you do it constantly.
Well, the
Then
time
they
they
gear
came,
dictates.
yeah, they try to, you know.
You're driving, maybe she's going to go see it.
When?
So.
Erica, I don't know, you got days and
Being out.
You did all
You gotta go, that, you gotta go through. Deal with
They had something Monday, so that's the same thing. Yeah, they had a couple of cardio version things. Yeah, they don't fly. At least I don't think for 2 years. Now, this one right now. So. No. He's just a, probably has done more. The cardiologist up there. They don't do it much more. But, yeah, he doesn't, he's fine. But the first, when we found out it was all about, the
was 3 o'clock too.
And, sorry, and it would be really risky.
First one, when I went, yeah.
Well, I get my butt moving by 4, so there's every 15 minutes between. I can't.
When I was going to one, I wake up and
Usually they don't.
I just wake up and get out of bed, say, I'm
So,
gonna
do
get up.
you think he's gonna do it? Yeah.
Half time I'll wake half hour before the work goes on.
That's usually on days off.
Is he grumpy? Then that's good.
She's
How's
mad
the
when
grumpy
I
say
came
that
in,
he's
I
doing
stayed
okay?
back.
One of my
You need to sleep in,
grandparents-
but I did.
Yeah, 20 minutes extra, right?
You know, whatever the case may be.
My mom was like,
You know, I get out of bed at 6 at the
there's so
camper,
much
I'm
trust
laying
issues
for an hour.
everywhere. Everywhere. So they're putting all that.
Yeah. You got
Now
all
it's
your
cold
water,
again,
so-
over there, that everything. Looks fragile. I know, it looks fragile, it's like, what's holding those spikes in there? So I don't know. And I've gone by the Dawn Manor, looks beautiful. That looks beautiful, I'm excited about that one, I wanna go to that. I wanna go there. Can't wait for that thing. And it's so funny, I heard that, one of those looks, you know, I never really connected, like, even though I was in the
Well,
Is there a flag downtown?
Hmm?
Flag downtown?
Is there a flag in town?
Yeah, you know, your big, great big, flagpole, great big flag.
Oh.
Did you fix it yet?
Not that I'm aware of, they haven't gotten parts out, I know of. He was looking at it to get,
Just so you know, it's gotta be half-staff until the Pope is in town. I guess it's.
You know, that thing's a lot of work.
That big flag. It's beautiful.
I had to take one down about that size before. It took 4 of us, I think, or 5 of us.
Every any kind of wood, it's like a piece of tin. But they're after, the city is after.
So it's not really there, it's pretty much anything that comes along.
When you're going down to Madison, there's a big flats and trailer place that flies the flags.
Oh, yeah.
There's a state that's going after it, doesn't want to fly them because they're too big.
I sent them some cookies. They were here for spring break and then I'll see them in June. The grandsons. 10 and 7. I know. Can you believe it? I was thinking, gosh, 6 1 years I'm driving. Yeah, this is my cousin. You're really old, he says. Yeah, I know. I know, I'll be able to contact me. What's going on? I don't know if it's junk. guess so. I mean, but that's easy. I don't know. You saw. I thought it was, maybe it was his, brother that died, somebody died. I thought he looked dead a couple days ago, if you ask me. Anyway.
See where you're gonna drive your motor right this
He
weekend?
just blows it away. I can't watch him anymore, yeah. How's business? It looks good. It looks good.
You're at Moco, that's
What'd you say?
Right?
You sound like you have a cold. I know, if I get sick, you're in trouble. Really? Is it a cold call? You need to talk to her, she can fix you up. Where's the tin zinc? What? Zinc. Did you hear that?
I heard the zinc part, I didn't.
Where's the zinc?
Where's it?
Serious? And teens.
That's what it's for.
Write it down here. Zinc is. Now you take this paper home. How much?
Need a motion, we're gonna reconvene to open session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Discuss action on closed session item. So there wasn't anything, we were just reviewing some information. President's report. This time I'd like to thank Jean for her service for being on the board. And we'd also like to welcome Corey to the board. So, and congratulations, Jamie, on winning another term. So with that being, that could be a perk for us. So with that being said, I'd like to have everyone just keep continuing to move forward and working together as a team. We've accomplished some great things with the village, and I think we can continue to do much more. So pretty excited. So, we just like everyone to have their own opinion, and we all come together, and I just ask that everybody respect each other, and even if we disagree, but hopefully we can, move on and decide what's right for the village, so. So moving on, building permits.
So just have Holt's Farms, which we talked about last meeting, I can clarify to see the formality.
Make a motion to approve
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
And then second one is for, is it Patreon? Loss for your remodeling, doing electrical, plumbing, everything, right?
Total redo.
Full redo.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There, I thought it was me for the chicken coops there.
Yeah.
Did you find a reputable, person that can do it for you, or?
Well, we're still looking. No, he's not doing the plumbing or the electrical.
For the